Yo, I'm gonna be honest. A pirate, sick, right? I don't want that. What the? So I get that weird fucking thing. This thing's way cooler. Cool. What's the message of the day? Nothing? Sick. Great. Fucking sick.
Hogsmeade, here I come.
Fucking Hogsmeade. Woo! Yeah. Boy with the toy ready to bring some joy. Get it by supplies and not some toys. A wand just for me, not the voice. I'ma be picky about it and not enjoy. Materials will be real coy. That child or woman walks like that old child. I can't tell. She looks like she needs to take a shit. Oh yeah, women don't shit. pretty good. That'd be really funny, like.
Go downstairs and that's it.
Cool sound effect.
Revelio.
Oh my goodness.
an inquiring mind.
Oh my god, bro.
Let's look at what we have, shall we? A pleasure doing business with you. Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Revelio.
No, I understand. Oops. Oh, did I save it? There we go. We'll play like that. Fuck it. Much easier on my PC than especially while streaming.
Revelio. Accio. Reparo. Levioso. Accio. Protego. Revelio. Levioso.
Let's look at what we have, shall we? Let me know if there's anything else I can do to help.
Accio. Revelio. Revelio.
Oh, I didn't realize. Money.
Revelio.
More money.
I miss the old credit goalposts.
Revelio.
Wait till you see the print. It's really good.
Welcome to J. Pippin's Potions.
Pardon me, sir.
Oh, thank goodness. When I heard the bell, I thought you were Miss Lawang. Not that she deigns to come here. Though I don't believe I've seen your face here before, either.
It's my first time in Hogsmeade, actually.
Is it really? Well, Parry Pippin at your service. And this is J. Pippin's Potions. Potions for all ailments. You'll have read it on the sign, of course, but Grandfather always made me say it in full. How may I help you today?
Professor Weasley sent me to collect some recipes. I'm new at Hogwarts.
You're the student she sent the owl about. I set your things aside immediately. I suspected if you're anything like I was at your age, you'd want your potion supplies. Is it not the most fascinating art, potion making? Rivals anything you can do with a wand, I've always said.
Are potions really that versatile?
They may not be as showy as spellwork, but make no mistake, they are just as powerful. They can heal, destroy, protect. You'll discover all of this soon enough. As it's your first time in, I should mention that it's not just potion recipes I sell. I also offer ready-made drafts for all manner of uses, and I unveil new ones from time to time. Pop in when you can so you don't miss out on anything. But for now, let's get you those recipes, shall we?
Okay, so we get sweet deals.
What can I do for you today? A wise decision. Feel free to take a look at the rest of my inventory, or come back another time if you're in a rush today. Very good. Never hurts to keep my stocks replenished. A wise decision. Thank you.
I can make the wiggle wand already.
Revelio. Revelio.
Well, hello there. Ah, hello there. Please come.
Pardon me, sir. I'm here for the seeds Professor Weasley arranged for me to collect.
Ah, the dittany for the new 5th year. I take it that's you then. Merlin's beard. Starting Hogwarts as a 5th year. You must be positively reeling from it all.
Not at all. I'm choosing to see it all as one big adventure.
Well, bravo. Not everyone has the temperament to take things as they come. Name's Timothy Teasdale, by the way, and this is my shop, the Magic Neep. I keep the cart out here because I like a good chat. Can't very well be in the thick of things if I'm hidden away inside now, can I?
I suppose not.
In addition to seeds, I have plenty of plants. Grow everything myself. My speciality is potion ingredients. Even Pippin purchases from me. But what say we get you a packet of Dittany seeds? Let me guess. You're after something fresh.
Yes, sir.
Do have a look around. Plenty of ingredients to pique your interest, I'd wager. Now, you let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. No one can say I don't keep a
Revelio.
stacked shelf.
Revelio. Revelio.
Sam, what are you up to now?
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade? Revelio. Lumos. Here. Revelio. Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade.
You'd think no one cares who comes by me.
Revelio.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented blue powder.
I could probably do this wandless if I wanted to. Here, watch this.
Lumos.
If you tell anyone what you saw here, I swear I'll...
Protego.
I always rely on my Patronus to keep me safe.
Blooming beard. Not again.
I'll be right with... Ah, it's you. Just a moment, please.
Hello, sir. I'm looking for...
For a new wand, yes. It's about time.
Yes, about time.
Well, you're our new fifth-year student, are you not? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you are. Gerbold Ollivander's the name. But of course, you'll have heard of the Ollivanders, I'm sure. Finest wand makers in the world. It's a pleasure to meet you, truly. Now, come with me. Let's find you the perfect wand, shall we? No, not you. Yes. Powerful core. 10.5 inches. You might do. Here, give this one a try. Well, go ahead, swish. How odd. Once more, come on, really swish it. Oh dear. Well, this isn't a good match at all, is it? We'll find you something, not to worry. No, not you. Perhaps. Yes. A rare wood, 13 3/4 inches, dragon heartstring. Let's give this one a try. Oh, goodness! Looks like it's back to the shelf for you. This is proving to be trickier than I had anticipated. How perplexing. Where are you? Perhaps you? There you are. Yes, I think you might be the one. Here, take it. How intriguing. Curious indeed. 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 How intriguing. Ah, phoenix feather. Exceptionally rare, and a core with a strong sense of initiative. What do you think? Extraordinary. Another wand, another beginning of a bright and magical future. Now, how did that feel?
Good. Different. I sensed a sort of surge of some kind.
A match. Your connection seemed particularly powerful. The right wand will learn from you, just as you learn from it.
I'm eager to try it out.
Of course. And a phoenix feather core is terribly selective. This will be an excellent match indeed. and the bond between you and your wand should only grow stronger.
Okay.
Do not be surprised at your new wand's ability to perceive your intentions, particularly in a moment of need.
That sounds wonderful, Mr. Ollivander.
I'll let you get to it. Do come and see me again if ever I can be of further assistance.
Well, that's everything. Better go and find Sebastian.
Hey, gives me a fucking waypoint. Let's go. Oh my god, I think I see it like bending. It's great.
I officially have all of my supplies.
Excellent.
Did you get what you needed for your sister?
I did. So I suppose the world is our oyster now. Let's see what else we can get up to.
Draw it away from the building! Away from the village!
Are we weakening him at all? Keep at it! We'll wear him down eventually.
What was that?
A taste of his own medicine.
Nicely done! Confringo! Levioso!
Goodness! A second troll! Did you two take on a fully grown troll? By yourselves?
I suppose so. It's all a bit of a blur, to be honest.
Merlin's beard. Are you all right?
We are, and we were glad to help.
I'd say help is a bit of an understatement. Nerve like that. The makings of an aura, if you ask me. If you are unharmed, perhaps the two of you wouldn't mind helping me put a few things back to where they were.
Of course, officer.
Singer. Officer Singer. And thank you, again.
Repairer.
I'll go and see what he wants.
One less thing for Officer Singer to worry about. There. Good as new. Repairer.
I think that's it.
Mr. Hill was just singing your praises.
Hello, sir. I don't believe we've met.
Allow me to introduce myself, Augustus Hill, clothier extraordinaire. I should like to thank you for your remarkable bravery in fighting those trolls, and not to mention your help restoring Hogsmeade to its rightful state.
I was happy to help.
Frankly, you deserve an Order of Merlin. But I can offer you something much more useful. I own Gladrag's wizardware, and among my inventory are some unique items that afford certain protections, as it were. Life-saving protections. And as I suspect this won't be your last dangerous encounter, I'd like to give you one such set of robes, in thanks for what you did today.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Hill, but I can't accept robes that I didn't pay for.
Nonsense! I insist! Now, let's try this on for size, shall we? Plenty for your perusal today. Take your time. You won't be disappointed. That's a glad... If I haven't said it before, it's a pleasure doing business with you. I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion.
I'd say we've earned a butterbeer or two, wouldn't you? Might help me forget that I was almost pulverized by a troll.
I'd say that I agree with you.
Perfect. The 3 broomsticks is just this way.
I sell even more battle-worthy items.
Can I put this back to nothing? Oh no, not visible neck. I want I gotta change these robes, bro. Change the robes. I like this. This is a nice one. We'll keep fucking the radical gloves on. I like the fucking. I like that, bro. It's fucking. I don't have a handle for my one. That's unfortunate.
Should you be inclined, you're most welcome to peruse my shop at your leisure. You won't be disappointed. That's a Gladrag's promise.
Yes. I look like a kind wizard when I'm wearing that. I have 7 gold, but I'm fucking yeeted to the sheets right now, bro. I have 7 coins to my fucking name, bro. This man looks dead. You good, my guy?
Assuming it isn't utter bedlam in there, you might even meet Sirona, the owner. She's a good one to know.
You said you could get to the child when they came to Hogsmeade. That all you needed was a distraction. I gave you a distraction.
I just watched a student take down your distraction. Who's this child? What are you not telling me?
All you need to know is that if you cannot get to the child, then you have no value to me.
Let's go. Did they see us?
I don't think so.
What was that goblin doing with Victor Rookwood?
Ranrock is working with Rookwood.
The goblin from the Daily Prophet. I knew I'd seen him somewhere. Quickly, let's get inside the 3 broomsticks.
Quickly, let's go grab a drink.
It's a treat to see you, Lodgok. I shall let you know if I hear anything.
Thank you, Sirona.
You be well.
Your voice sounds weird like mine.
Now, what can I... Oh, there's a face I haven't seen before.
It's my first time here.
Welcome. Butterbeer's on me. Heard about the attack. I shall be looking in on the other shopkeepers and residents shortly. Glad to see you two escaped injury.
Thanks to this one. Single-handedly took down a troll.
Is that right? Well done.
Thanks for this.
My pleasure. I will say, trolls in Hogsmeade. That's never happened before. Something's not right. The only brutes we usually have to deal with are... How timely.
Was that Lodgok I saw leaving just now? Your clientele's not what it used to be, Sirona.
Not to worry, Victor. Once the two of you leave, the caliber of my clientele will greatly improve. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Theophilus.
Come now. No need for theatrics. I'm only here for this one anyway.
My friend is enjoying a well-earned butterbeer.
Only want a quick word.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, my friend is busy.
One would think you all had enough bloodshed for one day. Come, Theophilus. The Three Broomsticks isn't what it used to be. Let's take our galleons elsewhere. Can't drink butterbeer forever.
Seems you've made an unfortunate enemy. Watch your back. Rookwood and Harlow are worse than any troll you might encounter.
Trolls? Ranrock and Rookwood? What are you not telling me?
I promised to tell you everything, but it's perhaps best I do that later.
And on that note, I think we should head back to the castle.
Oh, 10 feet in front of me. I can't see.
I'm certainly glad Sirona was there. Told you she was one of the good ones.
I can see that. She didn't seem at all intimidated by Rookwood and Harlow.
I think you'll need to tell me why Victor Rookwood has you in his sights. But we can talk later. For the moment, we should return to the castle. Professor Weasley's certain to hear about the troll attack soon if she hasn't already. Don't want to risk another detention for getting back after hours.
I don't think I'll ever get used to that. It's a little convoluted.
Revelio.
Come and see me. I've discovered something in the locket we found at Gringotts.
How nice to see you, my young friend. Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Let me out.
Professor, I'm glad to see you.
And I you. Thank Merlin you're in one piece. I heard about the attack. Trolls in Hogsmeade?
Sir, the trolls were wearing armor. It had that dark glow like the dragon collar.
Goblin silver! Ranrock used it to control the dragon. But how? And why send trolls to...
They were there because of me. I overheard Ranrock talking with Victor Rookwood.
Ranrock was in Hogsmeade? With Rookwood?
The trolls were Ranrock's distraction so that Rookwood could get to me. And he would have, had Sirona and the patrons at the Three Broomsticks not intervened.
This is grave news indeed. If Ranrock's goblins and dark wizards are after you, they want what we found in that vault.
Speaking of the vault, do you think that Ranrock is working with any of the goblins at Gringotts?
I do not. Gringotts goblins aren't typically the friendliest of beings, but they have a great deal of integrity. No, I dare say after what happened to that poor banker, the goblins at Gringotts are no followers of Ranrock.
They're after the locket. You said you discovered something in it.
Yes. I discovered an inscription. When I read it aloud, this map appeared. Clever enchantment. It's a map of Hogwarts, to be sure, but I do not know where it leads.
It leads to the library. A restricted section, to be precise, and a bit beyond. I see traces of magic there on the map.
I suspected you would see something.
Shall we go?
I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I'm eager to discover what we may find there as well. But if our experience at Gringotts, let alone what happened to Miriam, taught me anything, it's that the path we're on is terribly dangerous. I'd like you to work with Professor Hecat a bit, before we continue.
But sir, how dangerous could the library be? Perhaps we're only after a book.
Perhaps we are only after a book, but we should be prepared for anything. Once you've honed your defensive magic further, come and see me. I'll let Professor Hecat know to expect you.
Accio. Levioso. Reparo. Lumos. Revelio. Perhaps I'll come back to this.
If only a new student were to help me with my
Are you all right?
Don't you know who I am? Zenobia Noak, the girl whom everyone at school hates for no reason.
Everyone hates you. Why?
Because Hogwarts is full of bullies and spoilsports. Leander Pruitt's one of the worst, that no-talent moon mind. I wanted to make some new friends, and so I brought my collection down to the common room. My gobstone collection, that is. I was hoping someone would want to play. Are you familiar with gobstones? Little balls, like marbles. Grand game. And if you lose, they spray you with a foul-smelling liquid.
Gobstones? Sounds like a fun challenge.
That's what I tried to tell everyone. People can be so cruel. Just because they're sprayed all over with smelly gobstone spit, it's their own fault for losing. Imelda is one of the worst losers. Everett and Astoria are terrible as well. And now those poor losers have taken my gobstones and hidden them in very high places all over the school.
Rather an overreaction on their part.
I'll say. Anyway, I can't work out how to get them back on my own. I don't think I know the necessary spells yet. I need someone, perhaps a selfless and talented 5th year to help me.
Haven't you any friends at school?
Not really. Natty said hello once, but not a word since.
Do you have any suggestions on how to get your gobstones down from their hiding spots?
If I knew that, I'd get them myself. Whoever hid my gobstones that high got up there somehow.
I'll see what I can do.
I'd appreciate the help. If you do find all of my gobstones, do come and see me again. I'll be back to playing Snake Pit and Jackstone by myself in no time.
Revelio.
I believe we have some matters.
I'm here about the new spell you wanted to teach me, Professor.
Good. Professor Fig indicated a certain urgency to you completing your defensive magic assignments. As such, you are to learn Incendio, the fire-making spell, handy for lighting torches, burning away spider webs, and, when necessary, defending against those who would wish to do us harm.
Sounds versatile.
Quite. But before we get started, I'd like you to complete a few tasks. You may be surprised by some of them. Astonishing how much students don't think their professors know. When you're finished, come and see me. Then we shall begin working on Incendio. You know where to find me once you've finished.
Seems crossed wands isn't as secret as it's believed to be.
Here I've come from the toilet bowl where she said I could swim, did you praxia mole? As long as 'twere only one time per week, I can plunge the boy's lavatory, not for the meek.
Please, Peeves, you'll make me late.
He tried to stop me, did rancorous carp, sought to trap me, confine me inside of a jar. But he failed, as did his containment charms, so I took my revenge to wreak havoc and harm. It was granted my privileges be handsome indeed, or I'd fire up the cannon and so to draw up a contract with her and him that if I behaved, I'd have one weekly swim. Whee!
I'll get you for this.
Revelio. Accio. Levioso. Reparo. Revelio. Protego. Revelio.
Glad you could make it. Lucan's just over there.
Levioso. Revelio. Levioso.
Can I help you? Can I help you?
Sebastian told me to see you about a club.
If Sebastian vouches for you, that's all I need to know. I coordinate duels for crossed wands. A dueling club of sorts. It's invitation only, so you must have really impressed Sebastian.
I'm flattered to hear that. Sebastian's not a bad duelist either.
Imagine it's quite something to see the two of you duel.
How does cross wands work exactly?
You show up, I match you with other duelists, and whoever is still standing in the end wins. It's our way of determining the school's greatest duelist once and for all. And to liven things up, the winner is awarded a prize. Interested?
Of course. Dueling's an entertaining pastime.
I agree. Besides, in crossed wands, you can duel with a partner if you like. Your first time I'll pair you with Sebastian. Next time, you'll need to bring a partner along, or duel alone. So, care to step into the ring?
Get me in the ring.
Spectacular! Let the fireworks begin!
We'll make you regret signing up.
Expulso!
That's all you've got?
Oh, there goes my wager.
Expulso!
Come on!
Expulso! Expulso!
You're better than that!
Expulso! try another round?
Yes, don't count me out yet.
Brilliant!
Levioso!
Don't try again now.
Protego!
Ringo!
Stupefy!
Levioso!
Expulso! Expulso!
Levioso!
Stupefy!
Act like a winner.
Levioso! Ringo! Protego!
Levioso! Ringo!
Stupefy!
Levioso! Defendo!
Levioso!
Ringo!
Glad I didn't bet on that round.
That's better.
Nice work. Sebastian wasn't wrong about you. There's strong competition ahead, but keep this up and you could be the next school champion.
Brilliant. Count me in.
I shall. In fact, the second duel is ready when you are. And as a fully initiated member, you now have access to the official Crossed Wands training dummy. Very good way to master spell combinations. Come and see me and I'll set it up. Again, congratulations on your first Crossed Wands victory. Well fought. Hope to see you back here again.
Next time you need a partner for Crossed Wands, don't hesitate to call on me.
Hello, Lucan. May I use the training dummy?
Of course. I'll fetch it and give you a list of combinations to practice. Ready to have a try now?
That would be wonderful.
Be sure to cast all your spells before the dummy lands. If you need to stop practicing before you finish all of them, let me know.
Accio!
Good one!
Levioso!
That's it!
Levioso! Accio!
Excellent form! I'd say that's enough practice. You looked good out there.
Thank you, Lucan.
I say better to discover one's weaknesses during practice than during a duel. You'll be a fearsome challenger now.
Hello, Lucan. Is the next round of Crossed Wands all set?
Why, yes it is. I've got a great match lined up. Ready for another round?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Brilliant. Are you dueling with a partner?
I'll be dueling solo.
Then let's get to it.
Ready to get thrashed?
Apologies in advance.
Levioso! Protego!
I'm the one!
Levioso!
Levioso!
Stupid! Accio! Lumos! Protego! Levioso!
Is that all you've got?
Glad I didn't bet on you that round. Care to go again?
I'll give it another go.
Glad to hear it.
The blocking is tough, bro.
Stupefy! Accio! Stupefy! Accio! Stupefy! Potato! Stupefy! Stupefy! Accio! Stupefy! Accio!
Potato! Levioso!
Stupefy! Accio! Potato! Stupefy! Levioso!
Potato! Levioso!
Stupefy!
Potato!
Accio! Potato! Accio! Levioso! Lumos! Accio!
Care to go again?
Yes.
I'll give it another go.
Yes, sir.
Glad to hear it.
I'm so close now.
Potato! Stupefy! Stupefy! Levioso! Stupefy!
Levioso!
Lumos!
Better than that!
Potato! Stupefy! Levioso! Lumos!
Levioso!
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 Potato! Stupefy! Accio!
The winner!
Stupefy! Accio! Potato!
There goes my way.
Accio! Levioso! Accio!
Glad I didn't bet on that round.
Oh, bro, I did it though.
Bravo!
I gave it my all.
You did indeed. The other duelists have already taken notice of you, but after that last round, they'll really have it in for you. You'd better keep practicing if you want a chance at winning, or at least surviving the next round. I'll let you know when we're ready. Hope to see you then.
Yes, sir.
The next round is for all the gobstones, so to speak.
Gold, boy.
Assignment's all finished. Revelio. Accio. Revelio. Revelio. Accio. Leviosa. Oh.
Okay, that's way cooler. Not that much. Oh fuck. That hat be fucking, bro. You gotta be joking. Look at that motherfucking hat, bro. Okay, it doesn't match anything, so I don't think we're gonna change the appearance. We're doing this because it kind of matches the hat. Revelio. Revelio.
What are you up to now?
Revelio.
Frankly, I'd rather live it.
Revelio.
You can get all...
There's only one.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
I trust Mr. Brattleby was able to...
I finished all of the tasks you gave me, Professor Hackett.
Glad to hear it. Then you should be ready to learn Incendio.
Should be, Professor.
Yes. I'm sorry to say, I visited enough careless colleagues at St. Mungo's to assure you that fire is a fickle servant. Your spellcasting has impressed me thus far, but please maintain focus. I would rather we not end today's lesson with your robes aflame. Let us begin. And remember, focus on the proper wand movement. Concentrate, and keep your wand steady. Good work.
Levioso! Incendio!
You're getting it. Keep at it. And do try not to incinerate yourself.
Levioso! Accio! Levioso! Accio!
Setting things ablaze is certainly frantic, isn't it?
Accio. Incendio. Levioso. Accio. Incendio. Levioso. Accio. Incendio. Levioso. Accio. Incendio.
Damn, I feel like a race car, bro. This one runs. Oh, okay. I be moving and booling, bro. Yeah, spin the globe for fun.
Ah, there you are.
Hello, sir. You'll be pleased to know that I worked on my defensive magic with Professor Eckert.
So I hear. She tells me you've taken rather well to your new wand. You must continue to work with her and your other professors to improve your skills. That said, I don't wish to postpone our visit to the library any longer. So, shall we proceed?
Fig! I have work for you. Come.
Headmaster, I'm with a student and my schedule
Your schedule will wait indefinitely, as will your student. I would think that after all the trouble you caused me with Osric, you'd be eager to make amends. My office, 5 minutes.
That man is exasperating. Unfortunately, our trip to the restricted section will have to wait a bit longer.
But, Professor...
We have no choice. It would be unwise to provoke our illustrious headmaster further. I shall find you when I've completed whatever toils I must endure.
Sebastian mentioned sneaking into the restricted section. Perhaps he'll have an idea. Sebastian, there you are.
There you are. You promised me an explanation for what happened in the Three Broomsticks. Not many students have Victor Rookwood's attention. What was that all about?
Seems he's working with Ranrock, and Ranrock is after something I found at Gringotts.
Ranrock? And when were you at Gringotts?
Professor Fig and I ended up there after the dragon attack. It's quite the tale. Fig had this port key.
A port key? To Gringotts? I'm not sure I follow.
I barely follow myself, and I was there. Anyway, we ended up in an ancient vault where we found a map. That map leads to the restricted section.
You can't be serious.
Deadly serious. Professor Fig has insisted that I not tell a soul about any of this. I've probably said too much.
Understood. Your secret's safe with me. Whatever it is.
Thank you, Sebastian. You mentioned being clever enough not to get caught in the restricted section.
And I am. Meet me outside the library tonight, and tell no one.
How concerned should I be about the librarian?
Madam Scribner doesn't take kindly to clandestine activities taking place amongst her precious books, so do all that you can to avoid her. She and I have had our entanglements, but I can hold my own against her. You may not be so lucky.
What will happen if we're caught in the restricted section?
Detention, no doubt. But a word of caution or two will help. For one, avoid Peeves the poltergeist. Aside from wanton destruction of property, He loves nothing more than telling on the likes of us.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll meet you later.
See there? That's the door we need to reach. And those annoying prefects would love nothing more than to rat on us to Scribner, so don't let them see us. Understood?
I can be sneaky. Let's go.
Hold on now. There's a spell you should know. The Disillusionment Charm. Good for getting places you're not supposed to be. Cast it and you'll appear as little more than a trick of the light, just as long as you keep your distance and stay quiet.
You mean I'll actually be able to turn invisible?
Something like that. It's not as foolproof as a cloak, but those are expensive. And spells are free. Give it a try.
Revelio.
Quietly now.
Revelio.
I shall pretend I cannot see you.
Revelio.
Librarian's still here. Quick, behind the bookcase.
Damn. You told me the librarian would be gone by now.
I said usually, but it'll still be all right. Do you see her desk behind me? The key is in the drawer of that desk. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'll create a distraction to draw her away. You focus on getting the key. I'll meet you outside of the restricted section.
Wait, why do we need a key? Isn't there a spell for this?
Alohomora. That's how I always used to get in. But the librarian twigged that I knew the spell and cast an anti-Alohomora charm on the lock. So now it's just this key. But don't worry. I said I'd get you in, and I always keep my word. Trust me.
Revelio.
Is someone there? Is that you, Peeves?
The key. Here it is. That wasn't so difficult after all. Now to find that book.
Oh, that one's charmed to look more useful than it is. It's fooled me twice. Never judge a tome by its cover, I say.
Revelio.
Ghost, don't let her see you. Should be in the clip. There's no need for us to be skulking about.
So what is it you've been looking for?
I'm looking for a cure to help my twin sister, Anne, so that she can return to Hogwarts. Because Merlin knows everyone else has given up.
Why do you think you'll find a cure in the restricted section? Does the Hogwarts matron have nothing that can help Anne?
No! We've tried everyone from Nurse Blaney to St. Mungo's. But I can research on my own. No need to concern yourself. Let's focus on what you're after. Which is what, precisely?
I'll know it when I see it.
You're being awfully cryptic. Secrets of the darkest arts. I'm impressed.
Revelio.
Who have we here? Sebastian Solo and his new little friend. Out exploring where they shouldn't be. Naughty, naughty. You'll get caughty.
Peeves, don't
I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell.
Oh, blasted Peeves! I've got to stop him, or at least get to the librarian with a good excuse for all of this.
Wait, I don't want you getting into trouble for me.
I have a way with the faculty when it comes to disciplinary matters. Besides, I like having friends who are in my debt. Now go. Good luck in your search. Now, where's that damned poltergeist got to?
I know just the spell to repair this armor. Reparo. Of course, traces of ancient magic. That's it! There must be more to this room. Where might this lead? Reparo. Ah, I need to wake up that rune over there. Reparo. Not surprising. Guards at the ready. Reparo. Revelio. Revelio. This must be the way forward, but to where? Protagus! Nearly there. Best keep my wits about me.
Check out my gear. Oh, a new one. Oh, that's so fancy. I'm looking pretty faded right now, bro.
Potato! Levioso! Accio! Levioso! Potato! Stupido! Accio! Incendio! Levioso! Incendio. Accio. is a book after all.
Revelio.
You wanted to see me? Headmistress Fitzgerald? Professor Rackham?
Miss Isadora Morganach, welcome.
Professor Rookwood? Professor Bakar?
We understand that you are adjusting well to life at Hogwarts.
I am.
I am glad. Especially in light of your unusual situation, starting as a 5th year.
As it happens, I was also admitted to Hogwarts as a 5th year. I've never heard of another like us.
Miss Morganach, when we spoke yesterday after class, you asked about the beautiful swirls you saw years ago when we visited your hamlet.
I recognized you all immediately. I cannot thank you enough for what you did.
We were glad to help.
And yes, I did see swirls of magic everywhere that day. My father insists it was my imagination running wild, but it was certainly real to me.
It was not your imagination.
Percival, Professor Rackham can see them too. But we have never known of another who could.
I don't understand. What are they?
The whispers or traces that appear when a particular form of ancient magic is wielded.
Ancient magic?
Few are capable of wielding it. Hogwarts itself is a stronghold of ancient magic.
So if I can see traces of ancient magic, does that mean I can wield it too?
With the proper training.
But let us not get ahead of ourselves, Miss Morganach.
Before I can train you to wield such magic, you must first master all that Hogwarts has to offer.
A magic this powerful can do great harm in the wrong hands. It must be wielded by a select few. As such, we ask that you not speak to anyone about what we have discussed here today.
Sebastian.
Sneaking in the restricted section again! I had thought we were through with this mischief. Clearly detentions are insufficient. I'm afraid I must take this to the headmaster. But that being said, Peeves informs me that you didn't come alone tonight. If someone has coerced you, I would have you tell me. You're a bright boy. Don't waste this.
There was nobody else. I came alone.
Oh, Sebastian. What will your uncle say?
Revelio.
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was before I invented flu powder.
You cannot be serious. Goblins working with Rookwood? Makes no sense.
It is rather unorthodox, to say the least.
Unorthodox? It's inconceivable. It's... Ah, Fig. You have a visitor. I'll see what I can find out.
Sir, I was able to search the restricted section while you were with Professor Black. It was a book we were after.
What? That's... Wait. You accessed the restricted section? But how? Thinking on it, perhaps it's best you spare me the details.
Fair enough. In fact, the book was below the restricted section as it appeared on the map.
I want to hear everything. First, let's have a look. Oh dear. Some of these pages seem to be missing. It appears someone has got to the book before us. Still, I will need time to study what remains. Perhaps we can still salvage something useful, though it may take some time. I wonder why it was here, below Hogwarts.
I think I know, sir. I saw 2 more memories where I found the book.
Another pensive Godric's heart.
The man we saw before, Percival Rackham, was a professor here. The first memory showed him and 3 other professors using ancient magic to restore a hamlet from a drought.
Miriam was right. And the second memory?
They were talking to a student who started as a 5th year, like I did. She could see traces of magic too.
Why those memories? Perhaps this book will explain. I'll have to take it with me to London. The headmaster has insisted that I speak directly to the minister about George's death.
What will you tell them about Mr. Osric's death?
I don't know how much I dare say. George tried to convince the ministry about Ranrock, but to no avail. My instinct is to follow the path we are on for the moment and keep the details to ourselves until we know more.
I understand. I'll see what I can learn about the missing pages while you're gone.
Good. Don't neglect your studies. Your wand work is improving by the day. But you'll want to pay attention in herbology and potions. There's more to magic than spellcasting.
Plenty to keep me occupied while you're gone.
You've done exceptionally well. I look forward to seeing all that you've accomplished when I return. Oh, and don't neglect your friends. You may be surprised by how much you can learn from them as well.
Revelio. Levioso. Accio. Revelio.
Meet me in Lower Hogsfield as soon as possible. I would like to talk to you about Rookwood and Harlow, and it might be best to do so outside of the castle.
Professor Fig and Weasley have asked that I teach you an additional defensive spell. Please complete the assignments I have given you, and then proceed to see me in my classroom.
Which quest? Which quest? Circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle, circle, triangle.
spare a moment? I could use your help.
You wanted to speak with me?
I did. Hello, I'm Duncan Hobhouse. Pleasure to meet you. I've heard all about you, of course, confronting trolls and dragons.
I suppose it must seem that way. I'm not sure it's justified. It's often been a matter of circumstance.
I'm going to presume your reputation is in fact warranted, in which case, you are precisely the person I need. You see, we were learning to repel boggarts in Professor Hecat's class, and, well, mine unfortunately took the shape of a puffskein.
Surely you're joking. You can't possibly be afraid of a puffskein.
It may seem irrational to you, but my experience with them has been most upsetting. They eat bogies, you know. Regardless of how reasonable I believe my fear of puffskeins to be, I'm beginning to get a reputation as a coward. Some have even taken to calling me Puffskeen Dunkeen.
I'm sorry to hear that. Words can be cruel.
Thank you. Poppy keeps offering to help me in overcoming my fear, but I'm too afraid to take her up on it. Anyway, to make matters worse, I stupidly blurted out that I must be braver than people think, since I have been in the hidden herbology corridor.
The hidden herbology corridor?
Yes. Rumor has it that the herbology professor before Professor Garlic kept dangerous plants there. It's supposedly so overrun now that no one dares enter it anymore. I was hoping you could go there and bring back evidence that I could use to show that, well, I'd gone in. Say a bit of an exceptionally dangerous plant of some kind.
What sort of plants should I expect in the hidden herbology corridor?
I haven't a clue. But have you seen the kinds of plants Professor Garlic grows? If the previous professor was anything like her, I'd imagine they're not exactly harmless.
Uh-oh.
Very well. If I'm in the area, perhaps I shall take a look.
Grand. I'd very much appreciate it. Come and find me if you get the proof. I shall be forever in your debt.
That's good.
Hidden herbology corridor. Sounds intriguing.
Somewhere around 200 years BC, Archimedes is quoted as saying, "Give me a lever long enough and I can move the world."
Boys, I'll be right back. Watch
It was a bold proclamation, but he was right. With the right tool, with a big enough hammer, or a sharp enough blade, humans can be capable of anything. It's these tools that we create that separate us from mere animals. And that connection between man and his machines is the story of how we overcame every limitation imposed upon us. In 1986, that connection was made absolute. In an era of turbo-powered monstrosities tearing up gravel roads, Japanese technology dominating on a global scale,
The man we're following, the man on the move.
a few engineers in Germany had something to prove. With finesse and balance, they could combine man with machine in such a way as to be unstoppable. They created something groundbreaking, engineered to be perfectly balanced and capable of anything, from tight corners of city streets to the long banked curves of the Green Hell. It was unbeatable. What was created was quite possibly the greatest driver's car ever built, and it was called M3. Emblazoned across the hood of the finest German cars is a small, round emblem. a circle filled with blue and white, evoking the image of a white propeller spinning against a blue sky. There's a reason for that. In the 1920s, BMW made airplane engines. The kind of airplane engines that were the envy of the world. Yep, get ready. I'm talking about planes again. Among the ranks of engineers at BMW was a man named Willy Messerschmitt. In his spare time, Willy designed record-setting gliders. He wanted to do so much more, though. He wanted to conquer the skies. So in the 1920s, he told BMW to get bent and started his own airplane company. Luckily, well, maybe not luckily for everyone, at the time, some asshole had taken power in Germany and wanted to conquer the world. And that jerk's military held a design competition for new aircraft that would help lead Germany to victory. Young Willy saw his chance to forge a path and carve a name for himself. The problem was, this competition they had entered had a lot of rules. Rules are often seen as the enemy. And after reading a lot of your comments, I can tell a lot of you really hate rules. From the Group A restrictions placed on the R32 GTR, to Le Mans basically outlining the 787B after its win in '91. Rules on the surface appear to hold us back. But you see, where we find constraints, we usually find innovation. And so, with the rules laid out, the task at hand was set. Design a single-seat, highly maneuverable mail delivery aircraft that could be sold to the public, but really was meant to carry a bunch of guns and soar over London. Through many sleepless nights and a bit of schnapps, Willy did it. He penned the design of the BF-109. It was revolutionary in its simplicity, and it was as fast as it was nimble. It went into production at record pace, and its first battles took place over Spain, a mere 2 weeks after the Olympics, then Italy, Poland, Normandy, Leningrad, Egypt. The BF-109's V-12s were still grumbling overhead as the war came to an end. And in its wake, it had claimed more lives than any other aircraft. 15 of the top aces of World War II piloted 109s, most of them scoring over 200 victories. Erich Hartmann, top ace of the war and 109 trainer, shot down 352 planes alone. The best US pilot managed to down just 40. In total, 20,000 aircraft were shot down by the weapons mounted to the BF-109, making it an order of magnitude more deadly than even its closest rival. And it got there not with firepower, but with finesse. The 109 didn't have the most guns, it didn't have the biggest guns, and it was far from the most heavily armored. Due to the stringent rules set by the Luftwaffe at the start, the BF-109 on paper should have been surpassed by its contemporaries, the Spitfire and the later P-51 Mustang, but it wasn't, because its power did not lie in its cannons, its engine, or its frame, but the combined balance of all of its parts. In the hands of a pilot who was making split decisions, choices between life and death, you wanted a machine capable of reacting quickly, a tool that practically reads your mind. Now, you already know if you've watched this channel, war has a habit of pushing innovation. By the 1980s, wars were not fought with guns and bombs. The battles were waged on tarmac. The shots fired from exhaust pipes. And yet, the thirst for blood was all the same. The automotive landscape of the 1980s was wrought with disaster. Fuel had become scarce thanks to the oil crisis of the 70s. Big, gas-guzzling German Autobahn burners were becoming harder to sell. That meant that racing cars, being derived from their road-going counterparts, were slowly getting smaller and lighter, with more fuel-efficient power plants. In Germany, the king of the small touring car was Mercedes, whose 190E was not only one of the best-selling German cars, it was making waves in the racing world. And this was much to Mercedes' chagrin. You see, the Stuttgart luxury giant had actually canceled the racing program after Audi handed them their asses, which is a story for another time. But you see, Mercedes-Benz's own engineers went rogue. They still wanted to race. So they teamed up with AMG and started building race-ready versions of the 190E anyway. These renegade wrench turners set their sights on an upcoming series, the Deutsche Tourenwagen Meisterschaft, or DTM. A series started in 1984 to help promote Germany's finest cars, and to prove to the world that they were more than stuffy beer snobs and pretzel eaters. Coinciding with the start of DTM, the infamous Nürburgring had just reopened after extensive renovations. To celebrate both the new racing series and the opening of the ring, the Race of Champions was held at the Green Hell, a race consisting of only Mercedes 190Es being driven by the who's who's of champion drivers. When the smoke cleared, none other than Ayrton Senna, who we've mentioned a few times before, stood atop the podium. So there in the 1980s was the world, celebrating the 190E, praising Mercedes-Benz. Ayrton Senna, Green Hell, DTM, it was all making BMW mad as hell. And they weren't gonna take it anymore.
Ich glaube, passt zu allen Männern.
Und zu allen Frauen. Der neue BMW 1800.
Unfortunately, BMW was stuck in the past. They were still stuck in the 70s, still racing big heavy cars, and kinda not doing a very good job of it. Sure, with the help of Bob Lutz, yeah, that Bob Lutz, BMW had created its new M division, an optimistic endeavor to lead all of BMW's motorsports operations. Their focus was DTM. It was the racing series in Europe in the early 1980s. DTM adhered to the strict rules of FIA's Group A, a boring tomb of numbers and charts dictating what a race car should be. But love them or hate them, rules make racing, and DTM was no exception. Rule number 1 was arguably the most important: homologation. In DTM, each entry had to be based on a production car, and unlike other homologated racing series, they really meant it. Most racing series require something like 500 road cars for homologation, meaning manufacturers could make one-off cars that were hand-built at low numbers. You know, race cars. But DTM and Group A really wanted to push manufacturers to use their real cars in a race, so they pumped that number up to 5,000 examples a year. What that meant was that most companies competing in DTM had to take an actual car from their lineup and make a race car out of it. So BMW at the start of DTM would compete with their 635 CSI. They slapped some sticky rubbers on it and actually won their first DTM championship when Volker Striesek managed to stay ahead of the Rover Vitesse. The next year though, the 6 Series was proving to be too heavy to compete with the new lightweight Group B inspired cars. It took third behind Volvo and Rover and would never be able to climb to the top again. What's worse, by 1986, Mercedes had decided to put their full weight behind the 190E. No longer was it a Skunk Works project, fielded by a team of ragtag engineers. Stuttgart had entered the fight. In 1986, they stole second place from BMW, but Ford took home the title. The battle for black, red, and yellow was dominated by a blue oval. You can imagine how that felt to a nation of pride-filled engineers. The writing was on the wall. The future of motorsports meant small, lightweight, and efficient designs. BMW's race cars would need to hit the gym, shed weight, and get smart, because if they didn't, the future was to be led by the 190E and Mercedes. And that didn't sit very well with Eberhard von Kuhnheim, CEO of BMW, and man whose name I surely just butchered. Thanks to him, BMW's name would no longer be dragged through the mud. The blue and white roundel would shine in the sun once again.
Now BMW introduces the 4-door 3 Series, because along the way, some of us gain more than just affluence.
Eberhard had a burning passion, a fire that could not be quelled. He wanted BMW on top. No second string to Mercedes, Audi, or anyone else who dared make luxury cars. When Eberhard became CEO, BMW was an unfocused mess. It was the 70s, and they were still recovering from World War II. They made the odd motorcycles, some passable cars, and faced the threat of bankruptcy a few times. Eberhard grabbed the company by the reins and pulled it in a new direction. And with the help of the new race-fueled M Division and Bob Lutz, he started pushing the company in a brand new direction: ultimate driving machines. Automobiles that would inspire passion in their owners. No longer just mere appliances to get you from A to B, and to be discarded when a new model came out. To prove to the public that these were the works of driving passion they claimed them to be, BMW was going to need to win races. So, to fulfill Eberhard's dream, he directed the motorsports division to commit to one task: win. Build BMW's fastest touring car. Unleash the full efforts of their motorsports division on DTM, and put Ford, the 190E, and anyone who dared defy them in their place. There was just one problem. A homologated race car needs to be homologated. Unlike the blind eyes turned towards Group B, BMW couldn't exactly build a winning race car without also having a worthy road car. And the best they had on offer at the time was a timid little grocery getter. But it had potential.
The new BMW 325i. With 39% more power than its predecessor, it has the singular ability to bring a whole new meaning to the expression, rush hour.
The BMW 3 Series is one of the most popular models in the world.
The 3 Series. A car that is to BMW what the Civic is to Honda. The sales leader. The bread and butter. In the 1980s, BMW's 3 Series had no hopes of competing with the 190E in racing form. It suffered an anemic engine, one that BMW had been using since the damn 60s and barely made 100 horsepower. And the body itself was far too small and narrow for fat racing tires. The 3 Series would need a complete rework to be able to take on the Fords and Benzes on the German tarmac. The rules were simple though. Whatever you brought to compete in DTM, you had to make a hell of a lot of them. It was the hand they were dealt. The higher-ups at BMW thought, well, fine, if the rule is we have to use a production car, then making the 3 Series competitive. We'll just make a race car and sell it to the public. Somewhere, a stuffy German accountant woke up in his bed, sweat dripping down his face, visions of bankruptcy and layoffs in his head. Furiously, the number crunchers swarmed Eberhard's office to demand this undertaking be stopped. BMW would lose money, endless sums, if they tried to sell fast cars to regular customers. Eberhard politely listened, nodded his head, stood up, shook their hands, and ignored everything they told him. You see, his vision was singular. They were going to win at all costs. And so the M Division would continue on their important task. This would be the defining moment for BMW. A day when they would stand up, puff up their chest, and punch Mercedes right in the face.
The BMW 325i, ultimate driving pleasure.
And so it was that the M Division would be tasked with saving BMW on the world stage. With marching orders in hand, they set about with focused minds on one important task. Roll a 3 Series into a well-lit garage, take everything off of it, strip it down to the chassis, and rebuild it from the ground up with a singular purpose: win. Win everything. Their first step was figuring out what to power the damn thing with. Like I said before, the 3 Series engine wasn't gonna cut it, and the E30 presented a pretty significant problem. It was small. Its short hood couldn't hold some massive power plant in it, so they were going to need to be clever. Luckily, BMW had been making masterworks of internal combustion for some time, and that was in large thanks to a man named Paul Roche. Sound familiar? All of my stories have repeating characters. Paul, who later designed the McLaren F1's engine, was on tap to breathe life into the M3. Paul was a BMW thoroughbred and possibly the greatest engine designer that ever lived. Prior to the E30, he'd had his hands on the race engine made for the middling supercar, the M1. Paul's M88/1 that had run the M1 through its paces in Group 5 was a proven winner. And in the mid-80s, BMW was primed to replace it with the S38, the petrol-burning rocket ship that would power the M5 and M6. But the S38 was far too big for the diminutive M3, and the focus for the M3 was lightweight over sheer grunt. So Roche decided to start with the BMW M10, a straight 4-cylinder BMW had been using since the 50s. It was rock solid, reliable, and light. its teeth were cut in Formula One, where it served as the base of the most powerful F1 engine of all time, the 1500 horsepower M12. For his finishing touches, Paul took the head from his legendary M88 engine and literally sliced off 2 cylinder banks, welded on a steel plate to cover the hole, and slapped it on top of the M10. Like the M88 before it, the new engine would also get individual throttle bodies and beefed up internals to withstand the thrashing of high-level racing. The result was a lightweight, durable beast of an engine. The S14. So named because it took Paul Roche only 14 days to design it. While it was small, and it wasn't exuberant in its horsepower figures, its bark was as loud as its bite, and the S14 bit hard as hell. Translating the S14's notes to the drive shaft was a GetRag 5-speed with a dogleg layout. Dogleg means that instead of pulling down from first into second, you'd push up to second and pull down into third. A design that's inconvenient in a road car, but on a racetrack where you're shifting from second to third more often, especially when streaming out of an apex, a dogleg shaves tenths of a second, and fractions of a second in DTM were the difference between the podium and the pit. No stone left unturned, the suspension, brakes, and exhaust were all similarly put on the operating table. The focus was weight savings and durability. The M3 had to perform on a track and only see rubber and fuel in a pit stop. It got wider, it got lighter. It even got an extra stud per wheel so that it could handle high Gs and cornering better. On the exterior, the E30 M3 shared very little with the skeleton it was built around. The 3 Series only donated a hood, a roof panel, sunroof, and inner door panels. Everything else was bespoke to the M3, every detail nudged and sculpted in the name of weight savings or aerodynamics. Gone were steel bumpers replaced with lightweight plastics. The windshield tilted for aerodynamics. The C-pillar flattened and widened to persuade turbulent air to a new rear spoiler. Wider arches enveloped thicker wheels and tires. What remained may have at first glance been a slightly modified 3 Series, but what stood before you at a racetrack or showroom floor was an entirely new car. The M3, a fully prepped racing car that just happened to be road legal. And in 1987, you wanted one. BMW's pace to get the M3 on the racetrack was neck-breaking. In just over a year since they gave the M3 project a green light, the first examples started rolling off the line in March of 1986. BMW's accountants, though, were still losing sleep at night, so out of fear, they only released a few into the wild. Used as bait to lure people into dealerships, where BMW would try to sell them more reasonable cars like the 5 Series. Their plan sort of worked. It got them into the dealership, but they were there to buy an M3. Because when they got their eyes on one in the wild, when they saw what it did to the competition on grueling corners of Bavarian racetracks, it was different from any BMW they'd seen before. Hell, it was unlike anything else on the road. The E30 M3 wasn't a road-going version of a race car. It was the race car, and you could buy it, and you could drive it. Shift that dogleg transmission, hear the S14 scream straight off the showroom floor. The E30 M3 wasn't just some inconvenient sports car. Its DNA was still a BMW 3 Series. Economical, comfortable, versatile. You could take your wife and kids to dinner on Saturday, and then take your M3 to the track on Sunday, and you would win. The E30 M3 was a blitzkrieg of engineering, durability, and agility. BMW initially was afraid no one would buy them. Very quickly, though, they started to fear they couldn't make enough of them. To meet homologation requirements, they needed 5,000 examples. They sold 10,000 before the boys at the M Factory said, 9, no more, we cannot meet demand. The M3 would go on to sell for years, evolving and defining the legacy of the BMW name for generations. It would catapult the BMW M name into the halls of automotive history. It was nearly an accident. They weren't trying to make a sales leader, but they did anyway. BMW had given the public something they didn't even know they wanted. Purring underneath that emblem of blue and white was a road car with racing blood. A killing machine full of fire and fury that anyone could tame. And like Willie Messerschmitt's BF-109, when you put the right hands on the controls of a balanced blade, the weapon becomes unstoppable in its thirst for victory.
Je pense qu'Éric Van de Poel est battu, le drapeau à damier est là, et c'est Steve Sauter qui gagne cette édition des 24 heures.
Countless lives were snuffed out at the hands of the BF-109. Were you to see one in the sky, you only had one hope to survive the encounter. You were on the same team. No different was the air around European racetracks in 1987. You may have pulled up to that start line in your Alfa Romeo with 20 more horsepower, or been looking at the E30 M3 in your Ford Cosworth's rearview mirror, confident that your 60 additional horses could keep it there. But you were wrong. You were dead wrong.
They stream through.
The humble, underpowered, unassuming BMW M3 would claw its way up your spine, grip you with its sharpened teeth, and spit you out on its way to the podium. Its wrath, indiscriminate. Behind the wheel, it really didn't matter who held the controls. The lightweight, naturally aspirated BMW sports car was so easy to drive, so reliable and consistent, that it would eventually be at the front of the pack. On paper, the E30 M3 should have been an also-ran in history. But on the black-hot tarmacs of racetracks across Europe, history would write the name M3 at the top. It wasn't the most powerful, but it could be driven harder and driven longer. It struck a balance few have ever achieved. Drivers of M3s had more confidence to push harder, to brake later, cut closer to the apex, and accelerate harder out. To be on the track side by side with an M3, it would feel as though you were in an entirely different class. The first year that the M3 went racing, manufacturers around the world were slapped in the face. An M3 took home the trophy in the Australian Touring Car Championship, the European Touring Car Championship, the World Touring Car Championship, and most importantly, on their home turf, BMW shoved Mercedes-Benz face in the sand and took its lunch money. There atop the podium, shining in the limelight, was Eric Van de Poel, the new champion of DTM. At the height of its winning streak, a BMW M3 was winning one race every single day, and would go on to win 1,436 first-place finishes over its run. 3 years, nearly 1,500 races where everyone learned to respect it, making it the most successful touring car to ever touch rubber to road. Years later, Japan would unleash a beast as notorious and as dominant as the E30 M3, but the R32 GTR would never have as many victories notched in its belt. The M3's reign in the 80s was unlike anything before it, and unlike anything we are likely to see again. But that's not exactly why we love it so much. We love it because it kinda changed everything.
This is a 4-cylinder, 2.3-liter, 195 horsepower rear-wheel drive sports sedan. It is also the winningest touring car in history, one of the winningest race cars in history, one of the most balanced road cars or race cars ever made, and a perfect example of what the Germans do well when they put their minds to something.
The E30 M3's racing history is absolute. And yet today, in talks of the plucky little sports car, it rarely comes to mind. Yes, the E30 M3 was built to race, its teeth sharpened by drivers and engineers to take down the competition, to earn trophies to appease the corporate overlords, and certainly it was excellent at that. But it isn't why they're so important and so valuable. It isn't why the E30 M3 is considered to be by many to be BMW's greatest achievement. Its legend is in every car it helped create. Everything you know and love today is in large part thanks to BMW's commitment to the M3. It was a race car for the road unlike any that had been made before. It was one without compromises. No longer would you have to buy a terrible road car that raced, or a race car that was miserable to drive in traffic. The E30 M3 was the perfect blend between fire and ice, comfort and vengeance. It was truly the ultimate driving machine, and it changed the enthusiast world forever. It paved the way for every boy racer's dream. The Civic Type R, the Lancer Evolution, WRX STI, all could be confident that they would find their audience, as the BMW M3 did. Manufacturers now knew that the public wanted to see a race car at the track and drive one home from the dealership. I mean, just look at the legacy it created. Every BMW M car is a monument. Each generation of M3 is unique, fast, and fantastic. All born from that initial idea: make a race car for the road. The BMW M3 changed a middling German car brand from a stuffy luxury car maker to where you go when your blood burns with 91 octane. When you need the world's finest cars that hold no punches and leave no witnesses. This was that lever of Archimedes. The balanced, delicate weapon, unassuming and sheathed in plastic, that Germany would slash across motoring history, leaving the crushed dreams of its enemies in its wake, and changing history forever. This was the lever that a team of madmen in the 1980s made so powerful that they were able to move the entire world. What does it mean to bet at all? To take a risk, where failure comes at an incredible cost.
Sorry about that. I'll wait, boys and girls.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Levioso! Is everything all right?
Oh, hello. Thank you for asking. I'm Cressida, by the way, and I'm afraid everything's not all right. I may be in a spot of trouble with the librarian. You see, I'm fond of creating my own charms. Thought I'd perfected my light as a feather charm to use on my library books. My arms get so tired carrying them around all day. But I must have confused the Latin word for feather with bird in my incantation, because when I opened my bag just now in the library, they literally took flight.
That sounds brilliant, actually.
Thank you. Somehow I don't think the librarian will see it that way. I'd collect the books and remove the charm myself, except this isn't the first time one of my charms has threatened a piece of the library. Amit told Madame Scribner they were my books flying around, so she said that if I caused her any more trouble, she'd write to my parents. Perhaps you could get them for me. There are only 5. She won't be suspicious of a new student looking around.
I think you're wrong.
Why did Army tell Madame Scribner that they were your books?
Oh, to be perfectly honest, I don't think he meant any harm. I think he was impressed, bragging on my behalf. Amit spends a lot of time gazing at the stars, but he knows a good charm when he sees one.
I suppose I could help, if I have the time.
Oh, I'd very much appreciate it. One of the books is my diary. I'd rather it not fall into the wrong hands. If you could collect them and bring them to me, I can remove the charm.
I'm going to have to use Accio to get to those books. Accio! Got it. Only 4 more to go. Revelio.
Promise to help Star. Give her a ribbon and a wand.
Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Accio! That's the last book. Now to take them back to Cressida.
Reading can be as magical as any spell. Why can't students?
Hello, Cressida. I collected your books, including your diary.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you. I'll happily take the heavy lot off your hands now.
Here you are.
Well, lesson learned. I certainly won't be practicing any charms in the library again anytime soon. Now, to work out where I went wrong. Perhaps I should start brushing up on my Latin. Thank goodness some people are trustworthy. Certainly wouldn't want anyone but me reading my diary.
Incendio!
Watch what you're doing.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Revelio.
The Daedalian keys are back. Aren't they brilliant?
Is everything all right?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm Nellie, by the way. I'm just so excited that the Daedalian keys are back.
The what keys?
The Daedalian keys. Surely you've seen them flying about. Rumour is that a former headmistress, Professor Mole, conjured them to protect the contents of certain locked cabinets years ago. Professor Black couldn't be bothered to disenchant the keys, and they appear every few years. You should try to catch one.
Why would I do that?
Each key will lead you to a locked cabinet somewhere in the castle. If you can manage to get the key into the cabinet lock, not an easy task, you may find a reward.
Why would Professor Mole conjure flying keys?
What I heard is that it had something to do with keeping Peeves out of things. But that may or may not be true. He's a poltergeist. I thought they could go almost anywhere.
Surely you will be trying to complete the challenge as well.
I've tried, and I can't even get past the first cabinets. Perhaps you'll have better luck. I'd love to know what's in the cabinets.
Perhaps I'll give it a go.
I hope you do. In fact, I think I heard one of the keys in the astronomy tower. You should listen for them. I hope you follow a few keys at least. If you manage to open a cabinet, I'd love to know what you find, if anything.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Well, that's one of Zenobia's gobstones. I hardly see what all the fuss is about.
The Forbidden Forest? Are you trying to get yourself
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Revelio.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Revelio.
Professor Black's direction, it is my honor as Deputy Headmistress to offer you the position of Divination Professor at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. We are thrilled at the prospect of having you join our distinguished faculty. Please inform us of your intentions as soon as possible. I eagerly await your response. Warmest regards, the Professor Matilda Weasley.
Revelio. I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to include it.
Lumos.
That's pretty cool. I like these little puzzle things. They're neat. Oh, didn't know that was a chest. That's good to know.
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones. Accio! Levioso! Revelio! Lumos. Revelio. Levioso. Accio. Incendio. Accio. Levioso. Incendio.
Off on another adventure, are we?
I'd better keep an eye on high places around the school for Zenobia's gobstones.
Sometimes I'm
Revelio.
Then I wouldn't have to worry about doing schoolwork anymore.
Transfiguration always come easily to me. I suppose some minds are more suited to it than others.
Why does the Ministry require animagi to register themselves? Seems most intrusive to me.
I wonder what animal I'd be if I was an animagus. Wouldn't mind being a cat or an orangutan.
I tried to transform
Accio.
today. Ended up with a plaque with
You can't imagine how inconvenient travel was.
That's the last of Zenobia's gobstones. I should go and see her.
Nice.
Human
Revelio.
Charlotte Morrison got stuck with the bomb.
Plant woman is good at planting.
Revelio.
I hope you've had more luck than I did tracking down my gobstones.
Hello, Zenobia. I found all your gobstones.
Really? I didn't think it was possible. However did you do it?
Common sense and basic magic.
Well, may I have my gobstones back?
Of course. They are yours, after all.
Oh, how wonderful. I shall dedicate all of my future victories to you. Speaking of which, now that I have all my gobstones back, I wonder if anyone in the common room would be up for a game.
I'm sure they'd be willing to play after the trouble spent getting them back. It's a fine idea.
Isn't it? Oh, we'll have so much fun together laughing as all the losers get sprayed, which won't include me. Very well, off I go. Wish me luck.
See, now that was all worth it. There's this one, which matches my one beautifully. There's this one, which matches even nicer. That one's cool. This one's cool. I think that'll be it for me tonight, though. You guys have a good night, though. I hope you guys enjoy. Feel free to look at the rest of the VOD. It should be at least part of... what's it called? part of the start, or the first part should be uploading right now while this part is currently being broadcast. But yeah, so if you want to watch it from the start, feel free. I'd be happy for you guys to watch. Till next time.